Hey, hello everybody, welcome back to one more Tom Clancy's Division 2 video. In today's video I got my favorite PvP build so far in this title update 5. I've been using it a lot, especially because I'm back to playing Conflict. So I've been using this build on Conflict and on DarkZone. This build does a lot of damage. It's a build that we've been using a lot before, but now I think it works even better with the new talent Bloodsucker. So let's get into this, right? So guys, this is gonna be the build. So this build consists of the damage that we're gonna be putting out is coming from the under ropes and spotter for that 25% of damage on the under ropes and 20% on the spotter, and then we have 405,000 armor, and we're gonna work with that on the talent we have with chest piece. That's gonna be Bloodsucker. Having that much of armor is gonna help us activate Bloodsucker and having a lot more armor back once we kill an enemy, right? So with all that said, we're gonna break the build piece by piece, right? We're gonna start off with the mask. So on the mask we have this Wyvern brand set, but it doesn't have to be this brand set. As a fact, I wish if I had a Murakami Industry brand set in here, but I could not have it because I need 2 yellows on this mask, but I do not have one Murakami that has that, right? So we're gonna work with this Wyvern wear. So for the Wyvern wear we have 372 skill power with 16% skill haste. On the talent we have of course spotter, which gives us 20% weapon damage to pulsed enemies. Moving on for the chest piece, we have the first Gila Guard out of 3 Gila Guards that we have in this build. So by having 3 Gila Guards, the first one is going to give us 5% total armor, the second one is going to give us 20% hazard protection, which is going to help us on the burn, the poison, and any explosion damage that we have. And then the third one is going to give us 15% pulse skill power, and we do use a pulse on this build, so that's going to come really handy. That way we can unlock more mods by having 15% more skill power on the pulse. For the attributes on this chest piece we have 2 blues and 1 yellow. The first one gives us 25% total armor, and the second one is gonna give us 26,000 armor. With those two combined, we're gonna get a huge amount of armor on this build. As a fact, on this chest piece we have a total of 172,000 armor only on the chest piece. And then for the yellow we have 514 skill power, which is not bad at all. The max is a 1000, but 500 is not bad at all. For the talent, of course, we're running with a Bloodsucker. Like I said before, one of my favorite talents so far in the game for the chest piece, especially for PvP. For the mod slots on this chest piece, we're gonna have 1 utility mod slot with 2 defensive mod slot. The utility is gonna be 144 skill power, 3% reload speed, and then the defensive mod slot, the first one is 2000 armor with a 3% total armor, On the third one is going to be 2900 armor with another 3% total armor. So total armor is very important on the mod slots because it does give you a huge amount of armor, helping you get more toughness on your build. Moving on, for the holster, we have this Ferris Group AB. We need one of these at least to give that 10% assault rifle damage, especially because this is an assault rifle build. For the attributes, we have one defensive, one utility. The blue attributes give us a 28,000 health, and the yellow one gives us 29% skill haste. For the talents, we have devastating. Moving on, for the backpack, we have this backpack, the second Gila Guard on this build. And for the attributes, we're gonna have 18.5% total armor, and with the 20,000 armor combining with that 18%, which is gonna give us a total of 148,000 total armor on this backpack itself for this build. For the red attribute, we have only 1% weapon damage. To be honest with you, I wish if I had more in here, but you can only have so much, right? The orange is that isn't giving me a better backpack, so I'm working with this one. Even though on this build I'm already getting so much damage from the on the rope, so by having only 1% in here doesn't hurt that much. For the talents, of course, we're going with the on the ropes. Weapon damage is increased by 25% while all skills are on cooldown, and then we have hardened with that 10% total armor. For the mod slots, we have one utility and one defensive. The utility gives us only 96% skill power, but the reason why is because it also gives us 261 pulse skill power, and we need that focusing on this build, which is going to be around the pulse. For the defensive mod slot, we have this one that gives us 6,000 health, just because I want to get my health a little bit higher. I don't want a crazy low, so I just put that in there. I could put more armor in here and maybe get to 410,000 armor, but yeah, I just have health in here. Your choice is what you want, so if you want to put some armor in there, that's up to you. For the gloves, one of my favorite gloves right now, because it gives you 20% skill haste. 20% skill haste is a huge amount of skill haste, helps you a lot, makes your skills come back a lot faster, and this is coming from the Alps Summit armament. The attribute is going to be a red attribute that gives us 10% assault rifle damage, and then for the talents, it's going to be compensated because weapon damage is increased by 15% when your critical hit chance is below 20%. Also, let's not forget, on the Alps Summit armament, we do have a utility mod slot on the gloves, and this one is going to help us get that 7 minimum yellow that we need for this build. And last but not least, we have the knee pads for the last Gila Guard on this build, and it's gonna give us on attributes 14,000 armor. The talent is gonna be hard hitting, but honestly in here, whatever talent that you can get in here, just get it. That's the only best knee pads that I have for Gila Guard. I have this one, but this one has cloaked, and cloaked it's not locked, so whatever you have here, just whatever talent you have in here, it's not really specific. And then for the finish, we have 2 mod slots on these knee pads, and it's gonna be defensive mod slots. The gun of the show is gonna be the famous custom P416, you know, the best assault rifle in the game, besides the Eagle Barrel, of course, which is an exotic. But let's say this is the second best assault rifle in the game, and this one, it has 19.2k damage, 825 RPM with only 40 rounds in the mag. No, I do not have that special magazine yet, so yeah, I can only have plus 10% rounds on my magazine. For the talents, we're gonna go with the Optimist. Weapon damage is increased by 3% for every 10% ammo missing from the magazine. So this talent gives you a total of 13% weapon damage on your gun. This has been proven, I guess, by other YouTubers, I guess, and it requires 5 or less reds. The second talent is gonna be Allegro, plus 10% rate of fire, probably the best second talent on the weapons right now. And then the third talent, which is a great talent also, especially for PvP, which is Protected Reload. While equipped, this weapon grants 10% bonus armor while reloading. For the optic, we're working with the scope, ACOG scope 4 times, which gives us 20% optimal range. But the reason why we're using this one is because on the secondary we're gonna have Nemesis, and Nemesis third talent, which is prepared while holster, gain 25% headshot damage when scoped with your current weapon. The magazine, like I said, I only have the light extended magazine 5.56 mag, which gives us 10 rounds on this magazine. For the grip, we have the vertical grip that gives us 10% accuracy, and then on the muzzle we have the compensator 5.56, which gives us 10% stability, but whatever you have in here, that's up to you. And then for the skills, we're gonna go with 2 specific skills. So the first one, of course, is gonna be the pulse, and the one that I'm choosing is gonna be the scanner pulse. I only have 14.6 seconds on the cooldown. The duration is gonna be 10 seconds, and the effect radius is gonna be 63 meters. And then the second skill is gonna be the Kim launcher, just because we want to drop that Kim launcher and have it on cooldown. And the Kim launcher that I have is just a regular Kim launcher, has anything special on it. So yeah, the reason why we have the Qualsyn Kim launcher, you drop all the Kim launcher on the floor, you have an on cooldown, and then you pulse. If you get the damage from the pulse, or if you don't get the damage from the pulse, you get the on the ropes activated. So that's how it works. But yeah guys, that's gonna be the build. Honestly, that's the whole build working by itself. You get the damage from the pulse and the on the ropes. Like I said, we're working with the bloodsucker because we have 405,000 armor, and getting that 25%, which is 100,000 armor back from killing an enemy, helps us a lot. And then compensated on the gloves to give us 15% weapon damage, but doing nothing just by having it there and not having crit chance. So yeah, that's how the build works. Let me know what is your best AR PvP build on Title Blade 5. I want to hear your opinion, and yeah, that's the build, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.